So here are a couple more examples from the homework in section 2.2. There are a few of them where it asks you to make some different kind of graphs, and one of them asks you to find the midpoint. This is the one with the midpoint. So it first gives you the batting average and the frequency. So here, this is what's called the class, and this is the first class, and that's all the count of how many people had a batting average between 0.180 and 0.199. And the 0.180 is called the lower limit of this class, and 0.199 is the upper limit of this class. And that's the first class because it's just the first on the list. And so the first thing it asks you to do is to find the midpoint. So to find the midpoint, you're going to add together the lower limit of the first class and the lower limit of the second class. And then you'll add those together first, divide by 2, and that will be the midpoint of the first class. So I'm going to show you on the calculator here. So 0.180 plus 0.200. You have to hit enter first and then divide by 2. If you do the divide by 2 on the same line, your order of operations won't come out right and you'll get the wrong answer. So for this first one, it would be 0.19, and that's what you'll put as your midpoint. And then you'll keep doing the same thing. The next one, it'll be 0.200 plus 0.220 equals divide by 2, and keep going. And that's all fine until you get to the last one and you don't have another number below it to add to it. But what you'll probably notice as you're filling these in is that each one goes up by 2. So for this first one, your midpoint we calculated to be 0.19. The second one, you should get 0.21, so it goes from 0.19 to 0.21, and then it goes 0.23, 0.25, 0.27. Any of these problems like that, they're always going to have that kind of pattern where it keeps adding the same number to it. And so when you get up to here, it'll be 0.33, and then just following the pattern, the next one is 0.35. So that's the only place that doing the actual adding to the next number isn't going to work. The other thing you could do if you're not quite following what the pattern is here it goes 0.18, 0.2, 0.22, 0.24. These all go up by 0.2, so the next number here, if there was another class, would start with 0.36. Or you could also look at what this is and what's the number right after 0.359. It would be 0.360. So then you could put in that 0.340 plus what you know the start of the next class would be if there was one, 0.360, and then divide that by 2, and it's 0.35. But either way, this last midpoint follows the same pattern as all the others. And then after that, it's going to want you to construct a frequency polygon for the frequency distribution. So for that, you're just going to refer back to what you just did. So for your first number, 0.19, which is what you'd have written in here, the frequency is 3, and you can just highlight the 0, type in a 3, and it'll adjust it for you. And then for the next one, it's 11, 37, 56, so you'll just put in each number here as the frequency number that corresponds to the midpoints that you just calculated. So that is the one that is, I believe it's problem number 8 in this problem set. And then problem number 9 looks like this, it's another batting average. The numbers, the frequency numbers are just a little bit different in this one. And it does not, in this case, ask you to do the midpoint. And now, let's see, part of this is cut off, but it says cumulative frequency here, and right above it here, it would say to construct a frequency ogive. O-G-I-V-E is the word. And if you're doing that, there's a little bit different process. You're not going to just put the frequency numbers in here. You're going to put what's called the cumulative frequency, which means you're going to add the frequency to the previous total. So for the first one, it's still 3. It's just the first number. But for the second one, instead of it being 13, it's going to be 13 plus 3. So that, of course, is 16 for that one. So you're going to put in 16 here. And then you're going to keep your 16 in your calculator and add the next number to it, which in this case is 41. So then you're going to take your 16 that you already have, plus 41, and that's 57. So that's how you get 57 for this next one. And then for the fourth number, we're going to take our 57 that we had as our previous total and add 61. So plus 61 equals 118. And so that's how we get 118 here. And then you keep doing that for all the remaining numbers. And in the end, it should look like this. You probably have different numbers than this, so these aren't going to be your exact numbers, but the shape should look like this. All of these, anytime it has frequency, ogive, and cumulative frequency, those are the keywords you're looking for to know that you have to add them together. And then you're going to end up with this kind of S-shaped curve where it goes up a little smoothly and then tends to flatten out. And that is different from what was in the previous one. I don't have this with the final numbers in it, but the one where it says construct a frequency polygon, which was number 8, that one, it's just going to have the individual numbers in it. So this one is probably going to end up looking like a curve that goes up and then comes back down again. I think I can mark that. Let's give that a try. So this one, I think, will end up looking something like this. It's not going to be anywhere near that smooth because it's actually just going to be lines of some sort that look a little bit like this, and each one gets a little bit taller. But overall, it's going to go up and come down as opposed to the frequency ogive that gets up, goes up more smoothly and then flattens out.